is really when everything like fell apart for the whole region.
Yeah, it was a fucking shit show.
Yeah, it was.
A fucking shit show. For one, it was my first time ever being stranded anywhere. Like actually
Like
like
literally couldn't go
stuck.
anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like could not make it home. Like I have never been in a position to where like I was the one like in distress. You know what I'm saying?
See, typically it's usually me because I
Right.
live on top of a hill.
Right. Yeah. You usually are stuck at home.
Right. Which I was for 4 days.
Right. Exactly my point. I was stuck away from home for four
Yeah.
days because of this. So story time. So I get off of work and I leave at like 2:30. I have to go across town to get my son, go back across town times two to get to my house, right?
hmm
Full circle. And I leave at 2:30 and there's like snow by my son's babysitter's house. And
hmm
I'm over there and it's like fine. People are like driving slow and cautious, da 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 da.
Right.
It takes me like an hour and a half to get there, which it should only take 30 minutes. Anyway, I
hmm
get there, pick him up on my way home. I was in the car from 2:30 to 11 o'clock at night.
So
Did you
crazy.
hear did you hear me? 2:30 to 11 o'clock at night.
That's a whole ass like swing shift.
Actually, I was in the car for like 8.5 hours or something.
Yeah.
And not just me stranded, I was stranded with a baby
Right. With your sweet little baby.
with like a foot and a half of snow
Yeah. It was
in
crazy
a
how
city
quickly it piled up.
that doesn't get snow very often and
Well,
is not
so
equipped for snow.
that I don't agree with. I feel like
Now, we don't
once
get snow.
I feel like once a year this happens. And it
Okay.
snows and the whole place shuts down because we don't know how to take care of it.
I feel like
Because
once a year is not a lot.
it is because the whole city shuts down for a week
I mean, that is true. It does
because
shut
our
this
city
place
doesn't know
down.
how to take care of it. Because you go up the freeway a little bit and you cross a bridge and you're in a new state. And you know what they didn't have problems with? Getting anywhere.
That is true.
Like
That's
every major road, highway, and freeway in our city was shut down for days. That
the
doesn't
reason why I
happen
couldn't get
anywhere
home.
else.
Literally the
Like I
reason I
feel
could not get
like
home
right, and I feel like that stuff does not happen anywhere else. No other city shuts down
because of the weather.
because it snowed 11 inches in 24 hours.
I mean, there was a lot of snow.
It did happen very
And
quickly, and it was a lot more than anybody knew was coming.
and this is one of the examples of last week's episode, y'all. We talked about Lucky Girl Syndrome. If you have not listened to it, go listen to it after this one.
hmm
But if you have, you would know that the Lucky Girl Syndrome is real. And I feel like this exact thing is part of that for me because a month ago, I had a vehicle that was all-wheel drive, but
hmm
also all the way to the ground, right?
Right,
So my car was not in any position to, and it was manual, so it just would have been a pain in the ass to drive with a child. Like,
right.
it's not something I'm trying to do, right? And the heater was broken, and oh my gosh, like this is the exact thing. Like, I am so lucky that I ended up buying a new car on a limb this year,
Like when you did too.
like a mom car, yeah,
Right.
because this is that thing. I would have actually been stuck. Yeah, for context, y'all, my car did just fine. Thankfully, me and my son are perfectly fine. We didn't
hmm
actually get stuck. We were just stuck in traffic because
Right.
of the freeway shutting down and me living like an hour away from my babysitter
Literally like on
on
the
dry roads.
other side of the city.
Yeah, like in the completely other side,
Right.
completely other side.
Like you
And
guys live in two opposite suburbs of the city, basically.
actually, probably the last zip code for each side is where we
Right.
live. Anyway, so that was traumatic for me. Thankfully, we all made it safe. I was able to make it to one of my girlfriend's houses,
Which
and
thank God she still lived where she did at the time because she also just moved.
she moved
So,
2 days after the snowstorm
right.
started.
So thank God that this didn't happen like the week after she moved.
Yeah, actually, see, this is just there was too many things that like lined up. Like they were both
Right.
home, they both have vehicles that could have helped me if I needed,
Yeah.
like she was able to find like blankets and stuff for me and my son to stay the night while we were stuck, which
Mm-hmm.
everything, her house was packed up to the ceiling with boxes because she was moving two
Right.
days later,
Yeah.
like, and she's pregnant, poor thing. My
I
gosh, bless
know.
her heart.
I know.
um,
And see, I was supposed to help her move, but then I had some things happen,
yeah,
and I like, not only was I stuck at home because of snow and ice, but I also physically could not have helped.
I know.
So
Oh
like I felt
goodness.
so bad. It's like this poor girl is like however many months pregnant. She's dealing with like three man-childs. That's the best way to describe our friends.
Literally, just imagine y'all, a pregnant lady, and then like
And like
three men,
three
one
6 foot
U-Haul
toddlers. Like,
type of moving company.
right. So I was like, "Ah, this
Oh
poor
shit.
girl, like there's literally nothing I can do, and I hate it."
I know. When I got home on Friday evening, yeah, because I
Hmm.
was from Wednesday to Friday, I was stuck at her house.
Hmm.
Um, I had never been so happy to see these four walls.
Like
So I was
Loki,
ecstatic.
when you sent me the picture of you home and you're like finally home safe, one single tear.
I was
And I was
so
like, oh, she's home.
bitch. I literally cannot. And I love my friend. She was so sweet. She was like, I'll take you home. You can just leave your car here. Like, my car has four-wheel drive, this, that, and
Hmm.
third. She's like, we can just drive you home and then we can bring you back to get your car. And then you could drive there when the snow's all
When,
gone. I was like,
yeah,
I'm not. I was like, girl, you were literally moving tomorrow. It's like, we are
right.
not adding all that to your thing, to your plate. But thankfully, when I made it home, I was able to, shower and change my clothes and like, go back to reality a little bit.
I feel like that's Loki the worst part. Is it because you weren't planning on it not being home for 3 nights?
I
You didn't
literally
have clothes. Your child didn't have days worth of clothes.
I know. We were making do by all means.
Like,
Yo,
struggle.
I was so proud of myself though, because that diaper bag, that baby was packed to the T. I could have stayed there for 4 more nights with him. For myself, definitely should put a backpack with another pair of clothes in the car.
I mean,
But for him, I had enough, everything I needed.
well, good, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Because I was stressed out for you.
I only had like 3 breakdowns and I was like, we're doing
It's fine.
great. We're
No,
doing great.
so going back to that, our lucky girl syndrome, I feel like last week was a test for both of us, right? We did that episode. We're like, we're gonna like purposely make this part of our lives, right? We're
Mhm.
gonna look at the positive side of everything. We're not gonna have meltdowns over like small inconveniences. We're gonna manifest this life and everything is gonna be great. And then it was great for a couple of days. And then like the whole world came crashing down. And I feel like it was one of those things where I'm like, it's fine. Everything is fine. As like there's a whole dumpster fire behind me, and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay.
I just imagine like a meme of just like a dumpster fire and you're over here with like a plant water,
I'm
just
like,
like
it's fine.
drops, drips at a time.
Right. Like that's how I felt the whole time I'm like, it's fine. Don't go to that negative place. You're fine. Everything's fine. Don't
Oh my,
don't look back.
I know. So the second we started this lucky girl thing, like hard, I texted you literally the day after and I was like I don't remember what we were talking about, but I was basically just saying like something happened and you're like, it's fine, it's great, da 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 da. And then
Right.
our lizard had to get rushed to the emergency vet,
I
right?
know. Scary.
So then I get home from this damn snowstorm. We're being stuck the whole fucking time. And my boyfriend, like prior to the week, he told me, but I forgot that he had a checkup for her on Friday. So I got home and I was like, no, keep the appointment, like take her in. Like, this is important, like we need to
Hmm.
make sure she's doing good.
Right.
Poor baby. She had to go in for surgery the next day.
What? You didn't tell me this
So
part.
then I know because I forgot until just now. My weekend was dramatic, okay? So then, poor baby, Saturday morning, we had to take her in to get surgery. And like they literally had to like gas the little, mind you, I'm talking about a gecko here.
Wait, so
She's
they
so
put a little
small.
tiny.
She's so small. So then we had to they had to do surgery. She had this like mass that obviously it's a lizard, so they weren't like she has cancer, but
Right.
she just has like this little, excuse me, damn, she had this little mass, and then they had to surgically remove it, and then we have to like put this ointment on her, and then no place was open for us to get this damn ointment because it was Saturday in the evening and then Sunday, which apparently pharmacies are
Hmm.
closed on Sunday, especially when there's snow and ice outside. So it was just like one thing after. I was just like, you guys, if something happens to this poor baby, I swear I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fist fight the universe. Because I've been already worrying about her like the whole previous weekend
Right.
because of this whole thing,
Yeah.
and like we've been giving her like shots every 3 days, like holding a gecko and like giving her shots like we're fucking surgeons or
Wild.
something. Yeah, like what? Anyway, so yeah, my life's been fucking
Right.
eventful on this side of
So
town.
right, so we're sitting here, everything's gonna be fantastic. And then like 2 days later, the whole world falls apart.
Actually, actually, we're over here walking on hot coals. Like it's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
Right. Like it was I just feel like we did that episode, and then the last 2 weeks, the universe was like, are you serious? Let me throw everything I've got
You
at you.
sure y'all are
Right.
lucky?
Are you sure you're ready for this
And on a
life?
positive note, we're here. It's a whole new
We're
month.
here.
It's
It is.
positive things
So
now.